What's up, y'all? So, when people mention like what's the best year for thrash metal, everyone seems to say it's 1986, but this video I'm going to argue why I think it should be 1987. So I'm being kind of a contrarian, I guess, but yeah. But first, if you can hear it, we are listening to Merciless Abject Offerings. Though it was a small scene, I'm a very big fan of early 90s French death metal, like these guys, Loud Blast, Aggressor, and Massacre. Those four bands are all awesome, which I'm eventually gonna do like a mini early 90s French death metal deep dive video type thing, so be on the lookout for that sometime. I'm not sure when, but it'll be eventually, so yeah. Hard to pick a favorite record from that scene, but probably either this or the Enjoy the Violence from Massacre, but that's awesome. Alrighty, so I could easily do a part 2 to this video. There's another like 15 or 20 albums I didn't include, but I don't own those, so I'm only showing stuff I own. I think I counted right there, there's 23 albums, so if I don't show like the packaging or whatever, that's why I don't want this video to be an hour long, so let's get into it. So I got, first I'm going by format, so I got only 2 tapes. This is a band I'm not really a big fan of, but this record's pretty good. The rest of them are kind of like whatever, but Anthrax, Among the Living, definitely their best record in my opinion. They have good songs on their other albums, but as far as like a full album, this is their best record in my opinion, as far as like they just full length, like back to front. Highlights on this, and probably my favorite Anthrax song is Skeleton, like, what is it? Yes, Skeleton in Your Closet. It's probably my favorite Anthrax song. Other favorite, Fessen, One World, Imitation of Life, Condamash. Indians, I Never Need to Hear Again. It's kind of like the Back in Black of thrash. It's like super overplayed. Not bad songs. I never need to hear that song ever again, but yeah. So Anthrax, Among the Living. Like I said, I'm not going to go super into detail of these. These are all classics that I'm pretty sure we all know. Sticking with the Kings. Sodom Persecution Mania. Not my favorite, and neither is this. Hot take, my favorite Sodom album is actually Tap in the Vein, but definitely gets an odd choice, I'm sure. But oh well, this is definitely of the 80s stuff. Agent Orange is my favorite, but this is my number 2 album from the 80s material. And this also has the Explosive Sodomy 12-inch EP on it too, as a bonus, which is sweet. So my favorites on this one, I know Nuclear Winter and the cover of Iron Fist are the 2 like fan favorites. My favorite on here has always been the title track and Christ Passion. Those are definitely some of their best songs. To me, this is Sodom's like last album where they were kind of evil sounding. After this, they became more straightforward, like going forward. So if you don't like Agent Orange, you probably won't like the rest of the stuff, but if you can hang with Agent Orange, I feel like you'll like the rest of the material, so yeah. Killer record, not their best, but still, I don't think Sodom has a like terrible record. They have a couple that are kind of boring, but it's like they've never done like a Saint Anger or like terrible Slayer record, or even like a crappy like one commercial record. Like they have some that are hit or miss, but as far as the discography, they're pretty solid all the way through. Here's a band that broke up after this record. They only did 2. Carnival Retaliation. I do not care about Type O Negative in the slightest, but this record's awesome, so obviously it's Peter Steele's more famous for Type O Negative, unfortunately, but oh well. Favorites on this one, Angry Neurotic Catholics, Suck My Dick, Ground Zero Salem, or Ground Zero Brooklyn, I mean, Race War, Sex and Violence, USA for USA, 5 billion dead, so yeah. If this was written today, people would lose their shit because everyone gets super butthurt by everything nowadays, so no one would be able to handle their political message on here, like the SOD record, but yeah. Awesome stuff. Like I said, too bad it was their last record and we got Type O Negative, but oh well. I'm sure it definitely made a lot more money than this would, but oh well. Let's go to one of my favorites from Germany that doesn't get enough love, I think. This is Darkness, Death Squad. Their debut album, like I said, 1987. So, to me, this is basically like take Pleasure to Kill creator and Darkness Descends, Air Dark Angel, mix those two albums together and you get this. So like super, you could definitely tell they were like trying to like go after like the creative style, but like I said, they were definitely one of the, they were a little bit late to the party, but not quite super late though, but yeah. So there you go, Darkness, Death Squad. I mean, having their first record from '87, I mean, what, Creator was already on their third album by '87, Sodom was on their second, Tankard was on their second, Destruction was on their third. They were definitely late to the party, but oh well. Death Squad. Here's another favorite from Germany. Death Row, Raging Steel. This has become my favorite Death Row record. Riders of Doom is awesome too, and after this album, I don't know, man. They got too technical for my liking, but I prefer them when they were the most like violent, but they don't really, they have their own unique sound. They don't really sound like Creator or any of those bands. They didn't have like the almost like proto death metal. They were definitely more straightforward, but they were still great though. Favorites on this one: Raging Steel, Dragon's Breath, Scattered by the Winds, and Pledge to Die. Cool cover art too. Yep, there you go. Death Row, Raging Steel, the first two were awesome. You can't go wrong with those. This record's definitely not one of my favorites by this band, but it's still a good record though. It has some awesome deep tracks. Exodus, Pleasures of the Flesh. Fabulous Disaster is honestly my favorite by Exodus record, which is probably a hot take, but oh well. Favorites on this one: Deranged, So Death Do Us Part, Brain Dead, Faster Than You'll Ever Be, and Chemical. So of the first three, my least favorite, but still pretty good though. So there you go. Exodus, Pleasures of the Flesh. Alrighty, so here's another awesome German band. Paradox, Product of Imagination rather. So this is a good example of where their debut is decent, but their second record completely annihilates this one. Heresy from 1990 completely smokes this album. I mean, this one is almost like them kind of trying to copy Master of Puppets era Metallica, which Heresy, you could argue, is almost them like trying to copy Forbidden, but they honestly did Heresy. I think maybe I like that better than anything by Forbidden, but oh well. So yeah, if you like early Metallica and just early Bay Area thrash in general, this is an awesome record, so check it out. Paradox, Product of Imagination. I'm gonna take a quick drink. Alrighty. Here's a band where after this album I do not care. For me, they were basically a one and done as far as I'm concerned. Sacred Reich, Ignorance. I know people love The American Way. The title track's cool. Besides that, not a fan, honestly. They focus too much on like the political lyrics as opposed to actually trying to write good songs. They like worried about having a message, but oh well. Though I do like the Surf Nicaragua EP too, but so it's just that in the EP. Besides that, whatever. Favorites on here: Victim of Demise, the title track, Rest in Peace, Death Squad. Which there was like the fast riff after the intro in Death Squad. I think Sodom kind of ripped that off a couple years later for the title track, Agent Orange. I mean, just saying, go listen to the fast part in Death Squad and then listen to the fast part in Agent Orange and you'll hear the similarities. So yeah, that's kind of funny. So there you go. Sacred Reich, Ignorance. Let's go to Canada. Slaughter, Strapato. So to me, this basically is like German style thrash with an with like a proto HM2 pedal kind of, because it sounds like that style, but it was like 3 or 4 years before that was like the popular thing to do. So I'm not sure if they actually were using one, but to me it sounds like it. So correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah. I believe they did a comeback record after this, but oh, I don't know. I haven't heard it, and if I kind of guess it's not very good, considering I've never seen anybody talk about it, but I remember seeing somewhere that they did have another record though, but yeah. So again, if you like almost like proto death metal, check it out. Slaughter, Strapato. Alright, let's go to Germany for a band I think gets shit on for some reason because their lyrics, and I think they're probably my second favorite of the German thrash bands. Tankard. If we're talking consistency, hot take, they're the second most consistent German thrash band behind Sodom, which is probably crazy for me to say, but I'm serious. Listen to their discography and you will tell me I'm right. They only have one album that I don't like. It's Disco Destroyer. The rest of them are ranging from good to great. Maybe my favorite by them, it's either this or The Morning After, which The Morning After seems to be the one I've spun more often in the last year or two, but yeah. Favorites on this one, Total Addiction, Don't Panic, 4,000 Beers, Farewell to a Slut, Alcohol. So yeah, awesome record. I know they get crapped on, but they easily, when they want to, they could easily be as vicious as the other German three, but they always had that kind of goofy lyrics, so it's kind of why people crap on them, but oh well. If you can look past it, give them a chance, though. You're missing out on Tankard if you don't give them a chance, so there you go. Tankard, Chemical Invasion. Testament, The Legacy. I definitely have an unpopular opinion when it comes to Testament. My two favorites by them were actually Souls of Black and The Gathering, which that's definitely going to be an odd opinion, but take that for what you will. Favorites on this one, Over the Wall, The Haunting, First Strike is Deadly, Raging Waters, Violent Terror, Raging Waters. Yeah. Great shit. Not my favorite, but probably like my third or fourth favorite, but killer record though, obviously. So there you go. Testament, The Legacy. So that's all the CDs, so let's look at some records now. Death Angel, The Ultra Violence. Another band that's kind of late to the party because by 87, a lot of the bands were on their second or third record already. This is their first, just like Testament. They both put out their debut in the same year, but I like this better than The Legacy, honestly. I know they were all young as hell on this record. I mean, look at these dudes. What, the oldest guy was, what, like 17 on this album? I think the drummer was like 14 when they recorded this, so it's pretty funny. Favorites on this one, Thrashers, Voracious Souls, Killers 1, and Mistress of Pain. So yeah, definitely their best record in my opinion. Killer record, awesome. Death Angel, The Ultra Violence. Another band from Germany, I don't think gets well, this record doesn't get enough attention. Their debut does, but to me, this is honestly my favorite of the first two. Exhumer, Rising from the Sea. I know Possessed by Fire gets all the love, which I definitely can see why, but to me, I think this is definitely their best record. Which I know their original vocalist, this is the only album he didn't join, so maybe definitely a contrarian pick to shoot the favorite that doesn't have the like classic guy on it, but whatever, man, this album smokes. So their first record was almost kind of like slightly proto first wave black metal sounding, which this, they got rid of that completely, just more straight up in your face, aggressive German thrash, man. Killer record. I like that cover art too, definitely a cool design. So there you go. Exhumer, Rising from the Sea. Don't ignore this one, man. People say like the first record's the only one you need. I completely disagree, man. Check this one out too, so. Awesome banger that doesn't get enough love in my opinion, so there you go. Exhumer, Rising from the Sea. Alrighty, so let's go to Germany again. Release from Agony. Destruction of the... probably my second favorite record by them. Infernal Overkill is definitely my favorite, which I like this more than Internal Devastation, which I know that might be a hot take, but oh well. Pretty cool cover art, creepy as hell, which I kind of... seeing that back in the day, if you were a young kid, that probably would have freaked you out. It was like something from a horror movie. Favorites on this one, the title track, Sign of Fear, and Survive to Die. Yeah, they're, I think, one of their few albums as a 4-piece, because they were mostly a 3-piece, like most of their albums were, but yeah. Killer record, this definitely sounds better than Total Devastation. That album's awesome. It probably has like better high points, but the guitar tone on that album's always bugged me. It's kind of hard to tell what's going on sometimes on that album, but oh well, that's just me. So there you go. Destruction, Release from Agony. Alright, so this one you could make an argument is more like first wave black metal than thrash, but I've always considered this more of a thrash album than black metal, but that's just me. Holocausto, Campe de Exterminito. Definitely the best record in my opinion. I've mentioned before, I am a ginormous fan of the early 80s Brazilian extreme metal scene from like 86 to 92 Brazil. That's definitely one of my favorite scenes within metal. Which I have another one I completely forgot to pull. I'll grab that in a second, but yeah, there you go. again, if you like the stuff like early Sepultura, like Morbid Visions, and like the Volcano stuff, check this out. It's definitely one of the best thrash records from Brazil. So there you go. Holocausto Campo de Exterminito. I probably butchered that, but whatever. Going to Germany again. The last band of the Teutonic Four I'm going to mention, I believe. Creator Terrible Certainty. So honestly, of the first four, this is definitely my least favorite album by them. I say that mainly because to me this has always been like a transitional album, which is, it's not bad, obviously, it still rips, because it's like an early Creator record, so of course it's great, but I don't know, man, it's like, to me it's almost like 1 foot in the past and 1 foot like going to the future, like they're not like, let me put it this way, like they still have like a little bit of the like less death metal, almost proto death metal than Pleasure to Kill, but they're transitioning to becoming more technical on like extreme aggression, but they haven't like decided which way they're going yet, so it always seemed kind of odd, but oh well. Cool cover art though, I love that painting. Favorites on this one: Blind Faith, Behind the Mirror, and One of Us. One of Us. As the World Burns, Storming with Menace. Shit, man. Great album, but like I said, my least favorite of the first four, but most thrash bands would kill to have an album this good, so that's not really saying much, but anyway, there you go. Creator Terrible Certainty. Alright, so another band, this band I mentioned like a video or two ago, so, but not this album though, so it's okay, I'm not repeating myself. Messiah Extreme Cold Weather. So like I mentioned when I showed Choir of Horrors a couple videos ago, they definitely, this is like, this and the first record, I don't remember the name of it, definitely more like a like kind of thrash with death metal influence album, which after this they definitely became more almost like death metal with thrash influences, like the opposite, if that makes any sense. But yeah, I would say it's probably their most well-known album, mainly because people make fun of the cover art because it's kind of dumb, honestly, with just a polar bear. I mean, if you were to see this, is honestly, get rid of this, the logo. This could have been like a prog album cover, kind of, if you just like remove the logo and remove that, but oh well. Not their best, that's Choir of Horrors in my opinion, but this is a good record though. So obviously Switzerland wasn't exactly known for thrash in the mid-80s, but you also had Poltergeist too, so I guess those two were definitely the more like well-known Swiss thrash bands, but anyway, there you go. Well, not counting Celtic Frost, but that's a different beast entirely, so there's that. Here's another record that I see people kind of crap on for some reason. Is it my favorite album by this band? No, but I don't think it deserves the hate it gets sometimes. Overkill, Under the Influence. People say this sounds like third-rate Anthrax. I'm not sure why they compare it to Anthrax, which honestly, I think this destroys anything by Anthrax, but that's just me. Maybe because they were both from the East Coast, so that's kind of why, but granted, of the first 5 is probably my second least favorite, which my favorites honestly become Horoscope, which might be another hot take, but oh well. Favorites on this one: Shred, Hello from the Gutter, Head Fist, Overkill 3. Probably those 3 definitely my favorites, so yeah. Hello from the Gutter. Kind of dumb cover up, but awesome too at the same time, so yeah. There you go. Overkill, Under the Influence. Overlooked record that I don't think deserves the crap it gets sometimes. Alright, going to Germany again. Shocker. Rage, Execution Guaranteed. Awesome album. Is this my favorite by Rage? No, honestly that would be the debut Reign of Fear, which I know this band has like 25 albums or something fucking ridiculous, which honestly for me, my favorite era by them is definitely their thrash metal era, so their first like 3 or 4 albums was definitely where I'm at. Later on they became almost like heavy power metal with some like slight speed metal influences, but to me when it comes to Rage, it's definitely the thrash era is definitely my favorite. I'm the same way with Gravedigger too. My favorite Gravedigger stuff is definitely the first 3 or 4 albums, but anyway, there you go. Cool cover art though, it's definitely my favorite artwork of the first 4, so there you go. Cool like mob boss dude with someone like getting shot in the background. Very sweet. There you go. I don't know, for some reason this pressing came with 2 different versions of the same album, like the OG and then a different like remix version, which I think the remix sounds a little bit better. It sounds like Follow, so it's kind of cool they included both though, but yep. There you go, Rage, Execution Guaranteed. Killer record. Alright, 4 more than we're done. Sacrifice, Force Determination. If I had to rank them gun to my head, this is the number 1 of this list in my opinion, man. This is honestly if I had to think of like entirety of thrash, this is probably a top 5 album for me, honestly. Favorites on this one: Terror Strikes, Reanimation, Forever Enslaved, Flames of Armageddon. Awesome. They're one of those bands where the first 3 sound like a completely different band. To me, this is definitely the most German sounding, which is probably why it's my favorite. Their first album that gets a lot of love, Torment and Fire, is almost like a proto kind of like raw death metal album, almost like the first Onslaught album. Oh wow, I'm drawing a blank on the one's called. Not Torment in Hell. I can see the cover. God damn it, what's it called? Whatever, you know what I'm talking about. So anyway, but yep, there you go. Their first 3 albums are awesome, but to me, definitely this is their high point. So check that out. Power from Hell. Okay, that's the Onslaught I was thinking of. Yeah, Power from Hell is the first Onslaught. So definitely, if you like Power from Hell, you should like that Sacrifice record. Alrighty, next one. Another Brazilian banger. Sepultura, Schizophrenia. So obviously you don't need me to tell you which one's my favorite if you couldn't tell, obviously, by the flag I have hanging. But yeah, good record. Of the first 3, probably my least favorite, but though I have been spinning this more than Morbid Visions the last couple years. Favorites on this one: Escape to the Void, From the Past Comes the Storms, To the Wall, the re-recording version of Troops of Doom, Rest in Peace, Skeptic Scizzo. Yeah, the whole album is awesome. To me, their last album that had kind of any death metal influence, because after that they became more just like angry, dirty thrash, but yeah. So there you go, Sepultura, Schizophrenia. So some of their best records, which I can definitely see why, but yeah. Only the OG recording, fuck the repress. I've tried listening to the re-recorded version of that. Total garbage. Keep it OG. Though I don't like re-recordings to begin with anyway, so there's also that. Alright, here's a band that's been completely all over the universe as far as different sounds and styles. Voivod, Killing Technology. Of their thrash era, definitely my favorite record of their like first 4. Favorites on here: Killing Technology, Tornado, Ravenous Medicine. Those are definitely the 3 favorites. So to me, this is like their most straightforward thrash, because their first 2 were almost like dirty, kind of like Motorhead-ish, kind of like thrashy punk, and then Dimension Hatrox, they got more progressive. To me, it's almost like the most like normal of the first 4, but yeah. Awesome. There you go. Voivod, Killing Technology. If you want to get into Voivod, if you're like afraid because you know they're pretty weird, this is probably the most normal of their metal era, or at least the early stuff, so check that out. Voivod, Killing Technology. Alrighty, last one that we're done, ending in Germany. Vendetta, Go and Live, Stay and Die. Favorites on here is definitely the opening track, Suicidal Lunacy. It's definitely one of the best German thrash songs, just period. System of Death, On the Road, and Revelation Command is another highlight. Their second record's awesome too, the one from 88 or 89, I don't remember what year that one came out, but this one is definitely the high point. So to me, to compare them to any other band, they probably sound closest to like Death Row, so they're not like death metal sounding just super fast and like fast and crazy in like that vein, not like the Creator, like Pleasure to Kill vein, but you know what I mean. So there you go. The cover looks kind of like a Man of War cover, which is not a compliment, but oh well. Cool though. I like the band picture too. They look very German. So there you go. Vendetta, Go and Live, Stay and Die. So that's it. The other album I was talking about, I was gonna pull out was Volcano Bloody Vengeance, but I couldn't remember if that was 86 or 87. I didn't want to stop the video just to research that, so if that is 87, I could have included that too, but I'll do that in like a look what I've been listening to or whatever video. Thanks for watching. Hopefully, I know I left off a bunch of obvious ones, but I could easily do a part 2 of this, which I probably will eventually someday. So of the ones I didn't mention, let me know which one's your favorite, like the Mekong Delta albums, obviously, like or like Whiplash or other stuff. But yeah, like I said, let me know which one's your favorite, and yeah, thanks for watching. Take care. Peace out. Hails.